Andy from Addicted to Ships and Trips here. Welcome along to my review of the Norwegian Encore cruise ship. There's lots of great stuff to get through, including food, staff, entertainment and more. So let's do this. So let's jump right on in. If you prefer the written word and you'd like to follow my blog instead of or as well as this review, then just go to addictedtoships.com. So let's jump in then. There's a lot to get through. Do stick around to the end of this video because there is some negative stuff coming up, but before that there is lots of positives. So let's start then. First things first, Norwegian Encore is a Norwegian Cruise Line Breakaway Plus class ship and the sister ship to Norwegian Bliss and Norwegian Joy. I paid for this cruise in full. These are my own thoughts and I've not been paid by a cruise line to say this. So, starting with embarkation. I arrived at Pier 66 around 9 AM ahead of my 9:30 till 10 AM check-in slot. And it was nice to spend a little bit of time around the port capturing some photos and videos of Encore before heading into the terminal. Once I got inside the terminal, it was time for check-in, which took a total of 5 minutes. Security took another 5 minutes. Then it was the long wait to be called for boarding. Because when it's cruise Christmas and you're all excited, an hour and 10 minutes seems like an absolute lifetime. I have to say, a lovely, friendly NCL staff member kept me company for part of it after mistaking me for Gary Benbridge, so that absolutely gave me a bit of a chuckle. Embarkation started around about 10:50, and as I had boarding group 2, I was soon on the ship and had completed muster in the Encore Theatre by 11:15. Although embarkation was not as quick as some cruises I've been on, it was still pretty painless. Let's move on to the food and the complimentary food to start with. I don't remember a single item of food that I didn't enjoy. From the Manhattan main dining room to Taste and Savour main dining rooms to the Marketplace Cafe or the buffet and the observation lounge. When food was meant to be hot, it came out hot. It was always well seasoned, well presented and tasty, and the staff were all super friendly, helpful and knowledgeable. On to the specialty restaurants. My favourite specialty restaurant on Norwegian is Le Bistro. Now this sailing I decided to give the venue a rest and try something new. And boy oh boy was I ever glad that I did. On night 1, I enjoyed the delightful Onda by Scarpetta. After a lackluster visit to La Cucina on my previous cruise, this venue blew Cucina out of the water. Trust me, you will want to visit this place just for the bread. I had the veal for my entree and wished I'd been a little bit more adventurous. It was still pretty good though. If you're a dessert person like me, you must try the signature salted caramel budino. The next specialty restaurant to visit was Los Lobos, and after visiting this venue on board Norwegian Bliss in December 2019, I was excited to see if the food was still as good. I can confirm it absolutely is. Standouts for me were the tableside prepared guacamole and the tres leches cake. The last visit of my specialty restaurants was to Food Republic. Like all of the specialty venues on board, you can dine a la carte or use a dining package, which is exactly what I did. Plate after plate of delicious food came out in quick succession. I particularly enjoyed the pork belly bao buns, the tiger roll sushi and the green tea jar. The kimchi fried rice was my least favourite, but it was still great. On to entertainment. There was plenty of entertainment choice around the ship. The headline act is Choir of Man and the guys are super talented. It's a real feel-good show, and if you drink beer, get to the Encore Theatre early and you'll be invited up on stage for a pint. Another act worthy of a mention is the Beatles. This tribute act is very popular in its usual home of the Cavern Club on board, and no wonder. I caught one of their shows in the theatre on our final day and I was absolutely blown away by it. They performed different shows throughout the cruise, such as the early years, the later years, Sgt. Pepper years. If you're thinking of going to see them in the Cavern Club, then do get there at least 30 minutes before showtime if you want to get a seat. If you fancy some comedy, as well as performing in the Social Comedy and Nightclub, you can also catch the onboard comedians in the Encore Theatre several times per 7-day sailing. On my sailing, I found one of them very funny. I'll let you draw your own conclusions on the second one. You'll also find fun game shows such as Wheel of Fortune and the Not So Newlywed Show in the theatre and the atrium respectively. Also pretty funny was Mr. Sexy Legs contest up on the pool deck, and not forgetting some great guest acts. On my sailing there was a very talented and funny magician. These acts can often be hit or miss, so it was very welcome. Why not hit that subscribe button? There's plenty of Norwegian Encore coming up and lots more. Do hit that notification bell and you'll be notified as soon as the next thing drops. Let's move on to activities then. So, Norwegian Cruise Line is known for having lots of upcharge activities on board. Encore is certainly no exception to that. From Encore Speedway, the electric go-karts, to laser tag, more on that in a bit, Galaxy Pavilion, the onboard virtual reality arcade, to the escape room. Not to mention Vibe Beach Club. Things can soon add up. That being said, it is still possible to have fun without spending a fortune. If these are your thing, then there are trivia, there's origami, Sudoku, a scavenger hunt with a twist, dance classes in the atrium, you've got the 2 water slides and the kids aqua park. There's also the stunning observation lounge up on deck 15, where you've got the fabulous 180-degree views out to sea, and you can also enjoy light bites at breakfast and in the afternoon, usually around 3 p.m. when the buffet closes. You've also got live music around the ship to check out, and if you want to burn off those cruise calories, then the gym is also complimentary, apart from any spin classes, etc. Back to the laser tag. So whilst I was on board, Norwegian Cruise Line announced that this space is to be replaced with an adults only Spice H2O area in November 2024. As this is the only thing that's prevented me from taking a warm weather cruise on this ship, this makes me very happy indeed. On to the accommodation. So, I stayed in a solo studio within the exclusive keycard access area of the ship on decks 10, 11 and 12. Although the studios are only 99 square feet, I found that it was plenty of space for one. There were plenty of clothes hangers in the 2 wardrobes / closets and lots of shelving. There were 2 US, 2 Euro and 2 USP points in the room, a decent sized shower with a glass door complete with shampoo and body wash. There's also a virtual live view of the sea or port on a screen right above your bed and the usual TV in the room. Onto the solo lounge on deck 11. Part of the solo complex, this is the best lounge that I've seen on any Norwegian ship to date. Lots of comfortable seating, large TV screens wrap around the room displaying some great scenery. You have a freshly ground coffee machine with a wide selection of options, iced water and then juice or iced tea, these both alternated. You've also got tea bags, fresh fruit, cakes and cookies available, and all is included in your cruise fare. Of course, I couldn't talk about my experience without mentioning the staff. Special mentions go to my wonderful room attendant, who I never saw without a smile on her face, the washy guys who bring so much joy each day, and the host at Los Lobos who wanted to record a piece to camera for the channel. That is coming soon. Finding something negative was pretty tough on this cruise. There are two things. The first one is the Wi-Fi was pretty sketchy. Now that's down to sailing in Alaska and no fault of Norwegian Cruise Line. Had I known that Wi-Fi in Alaska can be challenging, then I may not have upgraded to the premium Wi-Fi. And the second point is that the daily gratuities are one of the highest in the industry. When you add that to lots and lots of upcharge items on board, then Norwegian can be quite expensive depending on what you want to get involved in on the ship. So, how did I rate my cruise? Well, it has to be a massive 4.9 out of 5. This was my favourite cruise to date. Had there been a Spice H2O at the time of my sailing, then it may have got a perfect 5. Please do consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified when new content drops. And until the next upload, thank you so much for watching. Bye now.